Hello and good morning again. In today's video, I'll tell you about what is VMSS. So VMSS basically means virtual machine scale sets. You can scale out horizontally your machines as you need demand on the requirement. So it's similar to your auto scaling group in different cloud service providers. So we click on VMSS, so it creates multiple machines with one go. So you don't have to create machines or minimum similar machines at a time. Instead, you can scale out maybe endless machines depending on your type of subscription. So I'll click on create, and I'm going to use the same resource group, which is in New Zealand. I'll give the name as my VMSS NZ, and I'm going to select the same region. I'll leave the resource to default. Now you can always think what is the orchestration mode you require, so you can read it. So how do you want to manage it? So flexible, you can manually create, add, and you can create any configuration, but in the orchestration uniform mode you will not be able to manage the resources, so it's standard. So Azure will, in the uniform mode, Azure will generate identical instances based on the model. So we'll just use the default one. Security type, we'll just use standard, which is basic level of security. But if you want, you can have a trusted launch. We'll go with the new one, and we will manually update the capacity. You can also update auto scaling based on CPU metrics. So we can create a configuration matrix and see what we can do. So how many machines we want. So for example, default condition, we can forecast. We can also have a predictive forecasting. So predictive forecasting basically works in such a way, it is a machine learning tool which understands your business needs and your requirement in few weeks, and then it forecasts your resources based on the time and the need of the service. Again, good example is Uber. So delivering Uber in the morning for Uber Eats, or maybe in the afternoon for lunch, or maybe in the evening for dinner. So at that time, you need more web servers, which should be running for Uber in the backend, rather than running them when they are not needed. Maybe in midnight, you don't need them. Maybe on the weekend, you may need them. So machine learning will learn, that predictive scaling tool, which is a machine learning model, will learn and will automatically create your resources on demand. So we will just use the default condition and we will edit it. So we'll manually scale, or we say auto scaling, that we want minimum 2, maximum we can say we want 5 instances, and we say if the CPU has got a threshold, if it is using up to 70% of the service, increase the instance by 1, and if it is using 30% of the service or less than that, then decrease the instance. So for example, again going back to Uber Eats, so in the morning, maybe between 8 and 10, there is more demand for the breakfast. So the CPU threshold may be greater than 70% for the web servers at the backend. New machines will come. But after 10 o'clock, assuming the resources, the demand will be less, the CPU threshold will start getting less than 30%. So instances will start getting killed and return to minimum number of 2. But in the peak time, we say that the maximum we want is 5. We can even say 20. Whatever you want, we leave it to default. And query, the engine will query the CPU usage for the past 10 minutes before scaling the device. So I think the default is 10 minutes. Let's try with 5. But what happens is, with scale out, it usually happens in every 5 minutes, but scale in, it usually happens after 15 minutes. But that is the default thing, and we have created a condition. If you don't like this name, you can also change this name from default condition to any other name, but this is a system generated name. We'll just use it and we will save it. So we have created a condition and we will scale out with number 1. And this is the web server that we are going to create of this size, and the username will be Azure user. and the password is p@ssw0rd1234, p@ssw0rd1234, and we'll not use spot instances. We'll go to disks, leave it to default, networking. We'll select the same network that we have. We'll not use a different one. And we will use the same public subnet that we have. And we will put it here only. And we will not create the load balancer at the moment, management. And we will click on next. So boot diagnostic will disable it. We don't want anything. And click on health. Health monitoring is required, so it will continue to monitor the health for the resources. And this is protocol for port number HTTP. So we will continue here, and we will say port number is 80 for HTTP, and the path that you can say is the endpoint for the resource. So the application endpoint is the report application health. The application path extensions help. If the application endpoint is unreachable, your VM is going to show as unhealthy. So request path, it should be port number 80, and let's save it. And I think networking, we have got everything good. Health is there. We'll click on advanced, and we can also put custom data. If you want to create this machine to a web server or anything, you can always write here, and this machine will be created. If you want, you can always put it later also, but if you want, you can simply write here install Windows feature -name web -server -include management tools. So you can also convert this machine to a web server if you want to. So make sure you type it correctly. Don't make any mistake in it. So custom data is all about the PowerShell script that will run into the system. You can put a tag if required, location New Zealand, and I'll click on review. And it will start creating the machines. So we'll just wait for the resources to get ready, and very soon our virtual machine scale set will be ready. So we will have minimum 2 machines available for us in our VMSS. And if you go to your VMSS, which is here, you will shortly see that VMSS has started coming up. In this, if you go, you will shortly have 2 instances that will come up, and they will have their own individual number, which will be a random ID that is given to them by Microsoft. So the resources are coming up, and they are standard VM, and they are still getting created, and you can see this. For networking, all these machines will have their individual IP addresses as well. That is going to come up for them. Settings, if you want, availability and scale, we have already set up the scaling. We have already set up the availability for the resources, and we will just wait for these resources to get ready. And our virtual machine scale set is now available for the system over here. So you can also convert these machines to web servers by passing the custom code, and you can also put these machines behind the load balancer if required onto the portal. So you can wait for this systems to come up, and once they are ready, you can try to run with the load balancer, try to put some traffic on it, and see that more new machines will come up. So the scale count will increase as the resource will increase. Another way of doing it is you can also create Linux machines, and once the Linux machines are there, they are available, you can put the stress on the Linux machine by passing on the stress command, and the load balancer will start creating new resources. I hope this helps, and if you have more questions or queries, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.